Someone forgot their gloves. Where's the gloves? Gloves, gloves, gloves. Ah, there they are. Gloves. This should be interesting. People won't be expecting me to be streaming at this hour. Yeah, I think these gloves are going to have to come off in about 10 minutes. The weather is surprisingly warm for apparently the middle of winter. G'day Nicholas. Looks like you're first. Hey, John's touchpad, and you're second. Seems like people are turning up. Yeah, these gloves are going to get really icky very quickly. Like I said, it's the middle of the winter here, and certainly does not feel like it. Alright, I need to pretty much get into the job at hand today, and I'm wondering where I'll put my magnetic pads. Where are you, magnetic pads? Yeah, where are you? It seems no matter how many magnetic pads I have, I always don't seem to have enough. Nothing too exotic today. This is my normal working time, so yeah, there will be people coming and going. Not in this room, but probably out the door. Okay, we'll do our 5S first. And there goes the traffic. Okay, alright, so what we got, pretty typical 5S. Smash screen, very slightly bent chassis, and look, an anti-radiation sticker. Alright, that'll protect me. Let's get this thing underway. Is it on? No, it's not. I don't mind doing these on a daily basis. I usually have 2 or 3 a day. It's good bread and butter income. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the... Whoa, what is going on here? That's stuck down something serious. Something's really gotten into that. Come on, up you come. Good. Hey Greg. Decided to take a personal day from work. Nice to not be watching at 1 AM here. Tell you what, does anyone know of a little tool or something fancy that can put those things back in without stuffing around and just squishing them down hoping they stay down? I mean, I'm thinking by the fact that they have these two holes here, that Apple must have a tool that just pops it in. I'm surprised no one's invented one. It's not the sort of tool I can invent though. At least I don't have the tools to make the tools that I want to use. Okay, come on, fingernail. You can do it. There you go. Fingernail does the job. And I mark my screws. I know there's probably a few people being horrified at the fact that I'm marking what should be a pristine iPhone. Believe me, I'd much rather have those marks than a long screw damage. Hey CryJ, almost managed to get by me. Yeah, well, you're in pretty early. So I'm not expecting many people here at the moment because it is out of the ordinary and we have got water damage in here. Fortunately it's on the battery side. Let's see, can you guys see that? Yeah, that's weird. It smells like it's not a drink. That's sort of like cologne or something like that. Alright. So given that it's on the battery side, the battery seems fine. I know, we shouldn't trust on that. Because I know it can lead to error 26, 27 issues. I'm really not wanting to take this battery out. What am I doing up at 1 PM? Oh, it's 1 PM already, crikey. You know, here I was thinking it was closer to like midday or maybe 11:30. I didn't realise it was already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's scary. So, alright, let's get this thing apart before it turns into 4 o'clock in the afternoon and yeah. It's been an interesting 12 hours. The local community group, someone posted up about the other store that was in town, and there's been a lot of voices coming out of the woodwork about how they have had things go in there, come out more damaged, logic boards fried, things smashed up, more money being spent, phones missing, stuff like that. But of course, yeah, naturally you're only going to be hearing the bad ones. Although there were 2 people there that said they had no problems at all. But it's an interesting situation because a lot of those people used to be my customers, and then when the new store opened up in Main Street, I never saw them again until I see their comments now. One of them even said I should have taken it to Paul. It's difficult because when they come back, yeah, you sort of have that urge to say, well, told you so. But of course you can't do that. You just have to put on the smiley face and be happy and take their money again. I mean, it's a hard life. It's definitely not cat piss, Pedro. Now that is one thing I would know off the top of my head very well. As you know, with 3 cats here. Fortunately our cats, because we have the outside area, they've got about 450, 550 square meters of area that they can roam around in. They do almost everything outside. But because this is such a dry area and the yard is very dry, whenever it does rain, all of a sudden you can smell all of their little contributions to the ground. And it's like, oh, that's really bad. It'd be okay if it wasn't quite so, oh man, that's really, check that out. So, really good corrosion job there, starting up. No wonder the screen's dead. I'll have to mark, yeah, it's definitely some sort of cologne or deodorant, yeah, underarm deodorant maybe. It's coming up very strong. Yeah, if we had more rain here, it wouldn't be a problem because then the natural biology in the ground would tend to break down the cat stuff. But instead, because it's so dry, nothing really goes on, and then when it rains, it reminds you of the fact that you got cats. I need a new napkin. Oh, Chris. Ah, bloody hell, Chris. Piss off, Chris. No one likes you, mate. I didn't see you on Lewis's stream this morning. Chris Wong. Yeah. Imposter Paul. Oh, it's the Tasmanian Paul. Hello, Paul. Yes, that's where I would like to be living. Where it actually gets cold. As opposed to up here where it never gets cold. Actually, I think I need my blended alcohol to get this one off. Where the hell's my... oh, there it is. If you use an alcohol IPA to get things off and you find that 99.9% or whatever isn't doing the job, try a mix with about 10 or 20% of water, distilled water, demineralized water, whatever you want, and you'll find it comes off. The water just adds that bit of solvent capability to the mix and lets you get the grime off, particularly if it's human-based grime. Come on. Chris was streaming when Lewis started. Oh, okay. 1 degree this morning when I dropped. Oh wow, 1 degree. I'd love that. Okay, I probably wouldn't like that. That would be a little bit cold. But we haven't even seen below 10 so far this year. Normally we'd be sitting at around about, during the day we should be seeing about 22, 23 maybe, and during the night it should be at 4 or 5. But we're not even dropping into single digits at the moment, and I'm a little terrified by that. Okay, that's cleaned up. Where's my napkin? Another napkin. So Chris, have you passed me in subscriber numbers yet? Because you've got to be pretty damn close. Go and annoy Lewis and Chris while here. It's a new eye cologne. Oh, Chris. Oh, shame, man. Go cry. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, tell your lovely wife that I said nasty things to you, and, or better yet, tell Micah. And Micah will come along. He'll pick me up and drop me a few times, because that's his specialty. So, sorry, Chris. This is nothing interesting. This is just a standard. Well, at least I certainly hope so. Standard screen replacement. That over there. I like standard screen replacements. Sometimes you just don't feel like having to think too much. I've still got the Samsung S6 that I've got to get a data path on. Right now when I try to fire it up, it just gives me temperature over temperature warning, which is not what I want. So I've got a new USB dock for it because the original one's smashed to smithereens, and unfortunately it's coming up with over temperature problem. So I've ordered a new battery, and it was supposed to be here today, but lo and behold, naturally when you need something in a hurry, it hasn't turned up. They didn't ship it until this morning, bastards. So what is the point of paying for overnight shipping when they don't even ship it on the same day? And it wasn't like it was a late in the afternoon order. I ordered it around about I think about midday, and it was only one item. And I've dealt with these people before, so I know that they just have a computerized printout system. They don't have to handwrite the orders or anything like that. What is your number? She is listening. I would hang with Micah. I bet he's a blasting person. Oh boy. Sometimes I wonder if Chris has been deliberately condescending towards Micah or what. Okay, I need some double-sided tape. Can I reach? Come on, can I reach? Yeah. The limits of the microphone cable. My selection of universal fix. I think this is 1mm wide tape. And you you have to get into the habit of always making sure you put it back in the bag and close it up. Because when you have cats, their hair is floating everywhere, even if you don't let them into the room, although they do occasionally get in here. And that hair gets stuck on this tape all so easily. Okay, I'm putting these little strips in here to stop the button from rotating around. I get a number of phones coming in where the Touch ID's died on them, and it's because the previous tech did not bond down the button, and so the button just starts swiveling around until eventually it fatigues through the flex cable, and lo and behold, the person no longer has a Touch ID. Okay. His personality is funny stoner. Oh. Now I guess the question is, would he agree with that, or would he dispute that? I can feel these gloves are getting uncomfortable already, and I'm only halfway through this job. So maybe a case I'm going to have, but I don't want to. I need to buy those finger cots. Get on there, you flippity flip. Okay. Hey, TCRS. Chris and Micah have the bond. Brother from another mother. The weird stuff you guys come up with. I need to get another tube of that N7000 or something like that glue, because right now I haven't got anything to stick down these guides. Fortunately, they don't give me too much drama, but obviously if a person says to me that their screen blinking isn't working when they're on a call, then that calls for action. Ah, for flip's sake, goddamn microphone. Now, anyone else who repairs iPhones, do you find that the earphone rubber receptacle is never big enough? You always sort of got to massage it out, lube it up, and try to get, because if you just try to jam this earpiece in, it just bounces right out, or you cause damage to the soft bits. Yeah, see, that doesn't even go in properly. It's like, too big, buddy, too big. I'm not used to that sort of problem. Stretch it out, stretch it out. But if you get the proper iPhone ones, and boom, it goes in perfect. Perfect match. Ah, lazy bugger. Let's see. Ah, TCRS, yes, I saw you had your new internet. It's good, 65, that's pretty good going. The Inspector shirt is in the plans. They're announcing winner of the t-shirt giveaway. What? I've been obviously too busy, I haven't even noticed that you had a t-shirt giveaway. Just checked out your new desk and stool, looking good. I'm actually in the middle of doing the same thing, except I'm a procrastinator. I've been working on it for 2 weeks now. Yeah, I can understand the procrastinating there, Vincent. I really had to push myself to get that. When I ordered the bench tops from my supplier, damn, I'm just going to go get the lubricant for this. Yeah, when I ordered the bench tops, the person apologised to me. They said, "Oh, we forgot to get them done quickly and whatnot." And this is like 3 days after I ordered them. I was like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's cool." I've got other things I need to be doing, and in the end, it was a combination of a whole lot of things that forced my hand. Oh, come on, now you don't even want to go in Vaseline? What's your problem? Oh man, these things drive me up the wall. I heard you can take a soldering iron and melt all the plastic. Mike, is that before or after you drill out the CPU to eliminate the iCloud lock? I think it's in there. It's just this one's a little tighter as it gets towards the end of the hole, and so it forces the earpiece back out. And obviously what I'll do is test it when it's finished and make sure the flap hasn't folded in under the earpiece. I had one customer bring me a phone that they said had been worked on by someone else, and they said ever since I got that screen fixed, it's had really bad volume. This is referring to when they had it fixed by the other person. And I was like, really? Okay. And yep, sure enough, the earpiece had just been shoved in and folded down the rubber shroud, and that killed the audio. But apparently the tech that did it wanted a whole heap more money to fix it. They said, oh yeah, it's some other problem. So wow, man, there's some real slimy people out there. We've got a dent in the corner. Great, you have to fix that up. Don't forget the microwave fast charger. Oh my goodness, I actually had someone legitimately ask me about that. And I was like, are you trolling me? Or are you serious? They were serious. Although, to be fair, they were asking because they were like, that doesn't sound right. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely not. So I'm glad they asked, rather than trying it. Ah, yes. Nice accumulation of human scum. Alright, so we've got a dent in this corner, and I'm going to have to pull that out. Now I know some people prefer fancy tungsten rods and a hammer. Me, I'm just a little simpleton, so I'm going to use my G-tool. And one more time. So I know some people think it's a mockery of our profession to use something like the G-tool to take the dents out of the corners. Certain people in New York. But I'm going to say I don't care. I'm using the G-tool, it makes my life easier, and it's paid for itself many times over. Okay, where's my screen? But yeah, so far as procrastination goes with building or renovating things and all that, I'm right there with you. I'm really bad for it. I sort of need someone to put a stick of fire up my butt just to make me go and do things. Likewise, when it comes to customer jobs, I think the worst thing anyone can ever do for me is be nice and pay me up front for the whole job. That just sucks the enthusiasm to do the job right out of me. Because I'm like, well, I've already got the money. What do I want to do the work for now? I don't mind if they give me a partial payment, like to cover any significant upfront costs, like particularly if it's a PC upgrade or something like that. Like I had a machine that I need to put a new solid state drive in, a new screen, all sorts of things, and so it was a fair chunk of change. So it was good that they paid for that up front. But yeah, when they say, oh, here's $150 for the phone job, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it now. Can I just have your money? You go away. So it's important to know where your weak points are for that. Sure hope this phone works. And like I said, I'm definitely going to have to make a note to the person to ensure that they back up their phone, just in case we have an error 25, 26 or whatever it is popping up in the future. At least then they won't be called out. Alright, that's locked in. Chris, the Vaseline is there so that when Lewis is cursing about open board view, it doesn't hurt so much. Ah, oh, for flip's sake, here we go. We're trying to get this bloody touch cable clip in. Haha, gotcha. Yeah. You'll be fine, then you're good. I get past money up front. If I have to eat some later, it doesn't hurt so bad. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah. It's just, like I said, if they give it all to you, then it's... Oh man. Why you don't want to go in? Oops. Yep. I hate it when you're pushing these screens in and they're a little reluctant and you sort of don't want to push too hard. Like, I'm sure plenty of you have had it where you just get a bad day or something and you just push on one of these sides wrong and you crack down the middle there. And it's like, you filthy bastard. And we've got nothing coming up. We don't even have the Apple symbol. Alright, let's get our charger. You can tell this is a genuine Apple one by the dreadful fraying. .46, we've got full... I've got nothing coming up here. You've blown your backlight circuit? Did I not put that in correctly? Let's see if it comes up. Oh, Greg, good to hear about your hard drive. Well, this is taking a full charge rate. It's almost 1 amp. It doesn't seem to be coming up, which means the battery's flat, but it's not displaying. Why does this always happen on live stream? Fantastic. Chris, I did not do that. I mean, look at the original screen. I mean, look at that. That's been through hell and back. And it's had cologne through it, so what do we got? Someone blew the backlight circuit. And if they have blown the backlight circuit, well, then I'm up the creek, because I don't have my microscope here and I don't know how to fix backlight circuits yet. Which means I will then have to negotiate with the customer and say, look, if you can wait a little bit, like 3 months. I can... What's going on here? Oh, it's just that trapped. So this is the bit I hate about things at the moment, is I'm fine to fix these screens and whatnot. But when things go wrong, because I don't yet have the skill base or the equipment, like say Chris Long and Jason and Jessa, STS Jason that is, I feel a bit trapped in a corner, like, oh, what am I going to do now? And as far as I know, all the Australian suppliers of these sort of repairs are all flat out at the moment. So I wouldn't even be able to send it to them. So I'd have to actually send it to Chris, or Jason, or Jessa. Yeah, well that looks good there. Let's try again. Okay, there's a good solid clip. That's solid. That's solid. And that's solid. Let's try it without closing up the... Yeah, okay, looks like I was the dum-dum. Something didn't clip in properly. Yeah, we've got the logo now. Alright, let's see. G'day, fixing things. Fixing things, my battery didn't arrive today, by the way, so... yuck. Okay, check out why gloves in Australia are pretty much no good. See that? That's just all disgusting human sweat. Yuck. In the bin. There seems to be a lot of Paul Daniels in Australia. Yeah, I think quite a few. Remember when I had the paramedics come for tachycardia? Oh, crikey. Why the hell were you getting tachycardia? Did you have an infection in your tooth or something? Ended up being anxiety. Yeah, I can understand that. The hospital gave me a shot of Ativan. Wow. Anesthesia scares me. Fathers for magicians, or Paul is a common... Yeah, in Australia Paul is definitely a very common name. At school I think there was 4, maybe 5 of us just in my own class, and there was 4 or 5 different classes for that grade. Jessa intentionally shorted a 5S filter and it wouldn't blow. I remember seeing that one, Chris. I remember there was Jessa and I think it was Mark that were trying to blow it, get it to blow. So it obviously just didn't sit down 100%, and fortunately at least it was the backlight pin that didn't get picked up, because otherwise more than likely it could have perhaps been something else and it would have just shown up as some sort of intermittent fault, and then I would have been the one getting pitchforked and tarred by the town people. When you plugged your charger, that readout board, you had nice mains hum. Yeah, the mains circuitry in this house is quite bad. I will be likely changing to a wireless headset as well. That hopefully will cut it down. As long as I don't grab things, I'm okay. Like if I grab the light up here, it'll probably make it hum. Yeah, and I'm not surprised this is humming. It's the shielding's all ruined. Several years ago, went home the same night. That stuff sure did a good job of treating the anxiety. Yeah, it's a bit like Xanax. Yeah, that stuff works wonders, but it wears off too quick. As in, within 2 or 3 weeks, you are effectively immune to it. I'm going to put this back together properly now. Hopefully I don't leave too many fingerprints in this. I know some people who handle phones, or just some people who work on this stuff, have a really corrosive fingerprints, and other people don't. I mean, you'll always still see the marks, but I've noticed some of them really eat into the metal quite badly. So I don't know what on earth's going on with their body chemistry. Maybe they're part alien. Got Sigourney Weaver coming after him. I got a cat here. This is a fully prepaid job from yesterday. I've noticed since that other store has closed down, there's definitely a huge uptick in the amount of jobs I'm getting. So I think it would be a wise investment for me to probably spend about 1,500, maybe 2,000 on the front patio of this place, close it in, make it a little reception area, just so that people feel like it's a little more professional. Because unfortunately appearances do matter, and when people look at the outside of this place, the first thing they think of is probably some horrible run-down person who's probably spends half his time on drugs. But it's not. I just spend most of my time on YouTube pretending to have a life. Oh, come on. What is going on with the screen? The other option is... no, that's good. I was thinking sometimes you can get screens where when you do finally close them up, they no longer work because there's a fault in the flex, and when you put it under that sort of folded strain, they give up. Okay, let's see how we go. Hum time. Alright, that's charging. Good. That's one off the list. Alright. Catch up with chat. No, it's all good, Mike. I appreciate you saying that. No, it's good. You're getting $150 to fix stuff, and you have a raggedy charger like you're using in the bank. Yeah, well, it's an original Apple cable, and to get a replacement, they're like $30. I don't get 150 for these phones. Here in Australia, I charge 129 for the 5 series. I'm paying about 45 for the replacement screens. I can get significantly cheaper screens, but I'm just not having any success with them, so I'm sticking with these high-end ones. The nice thing is they work for the iPhone SE as well, which came in handy last night. I had a person coming in at I think it was about 6:30. They'd just dropped their phone, they needed it for work, and because I had the high-end screens, they worked for the SE, so it was a straight over swap, so I don't have to keep 2 different stock lines. But yeah, that cable, I'll just put some heat shrink around it, combined with some hot glue, so it could be a hot glue around where it's all broken, and then slide some heat shrink over it, and then when you heat it up enough, it sort of squeezes it and makes a nice tight finish. It's going to be interesting though, because the heat shrink has to be large enough to get over that lightning connector. I think I've got some 3 or 4 to 1 shrink ratio stuff, so that'll work. What's the status on the microscope adventure? Let's see. The YouTube donation should come in around about the 15th of this month. At least that will turn up as being consolidated into the AdSense account. And then AdSense pays out typically around about the 22nd. And I should see it then in my bank account around about the 25th. So come the 25th, I'll be able to make my order, and then who knows how long it's going to take to get here. So hopefully not too long. And once that's here, yeah, maybe I'll have an unboxing ceremony or something, I don't know. So, but speaking of stuff, I finally got my vise today. This is, you may have seen the ones that Jessa has, which are designed specifically for particular iPhone boards, but this is a more generic one. This one here was suggested to me by Orbit 8, who isn't here at the moment, but it's got some good heft in it. It's around about half a pound weight, or something pretty close to that, and yeah, I figure it's going to be good. I can put my board, I'll go get some boards. Rav Power, MFI cert, and cheap. Oh, okay. Fixing things, yeah, at $75, of course people are going to whinge because you've picked out the market that wants to whinge because they're little cheapskates. No, okay, I shouldn't say that, but that is one thing I found. My pricing method for these jobs is I need to be able to buy a complete replacement of the screen or parts or whatever with the margin that I make on the job. I don't have to have anything beyond that, but at least got to be double the price of whatever I'm paying for the screen. And I just keep it of whatever I can, because quite frankly there's so many little weird things that come up, and yeah, I can't afford to run things that tight, that close financially. Okay, that's looking pretty good there. Of course, now that everybody is using the crystalline gravity method for getting shields off, it's kind of a little bit pointless. Chris, you'll be pleased to know that you had another convert of the gravity drop method. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you this, but that was Jason of SDS. Yeah, it's a fancy board holder. Like I said, it's got good weight. I think it was about $35 or something like that. I'm really happy. It's going to be much better than that other thing that you've seen me use. Where is it? Yeah. This piece of junk. I mean, it's got its uses, maybe as a door wedge or something like that, but I'll be glad to see this sort of rusting from lack of use. I think this one here is going to be a lot more useful. Didn't invent it, but it's a good method. Well, I don't have a choice. I have about 20 or 30 people doing this, and if I don't, okay. I see what your situation is, fixing things here. I will say this about the store that's recently closed that came into town. They at least had business sense, and they saw that my prices were what they were. And instead of undercutting me seriously, they just stayed with what I had, and they just used cheaper screens or something like that. So they're actually making more margin than me on the initial sale. But of course their running cost was significantly higher. They had to cover a $2,500 per month rent, whereas for me, that's I'm only paying about $800 a month rent. Vincent, yes, this is all I do. I fix phones, fix computers, do circuitry design. Yeah, I work at home. I'm sole trader, as we call them in Australia. I don't know what they call them in America or the US or UK or wherever. I program. Basically, I'll do anything I can at the time to do the job, or to get the money. Sometimes I go on a little bit of a tangent. Actually, a lot of times, like last year, about 12 months ago, I spent way too long doing open board view. And yeah, it was a fun project. I'm still working on it, as always, but that probably wasn't the most intelligent financial thing to do, but it probably has its payoffs. I mean, it certainly has paid off in other ways. And this is the other thing I got today, my direct heat stencils. So I'm sure you've all seen these. Anyway, it's nice to have them now myself. And this is everything from the 4 to the 7. I was surprised. Yeah, the 7 Plus. I like how they got the letter L wrong and it's called the 7PS, which is kind of funny. It's like Pyrrhus. Is this a hybrid? Are these hybrid direct heat stencils? Chris, I'm waiting for those battery charger tester boards to arrive. The TNT tracking number is still showing me as though there's nothing sent, even though the supplier has said we've sent them. So I don't know, I'm just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully they haven't been dropped off the side of a boat or something. But when they get here, that will certainly be a fair bit of work. Are they square hole? It's a good question, Chris. I'll check. Struck out, firing other pads preview. Yeah, like I said, no one's really having a lot of luck with that. Chris, do you have a particular one you want me to look at? They look kind of roundish to me. I think the other thing, Vincent, is that because this is a small town, we have like 8,000 people here in about 100 kilometer radius. I don't really have the luxury of being exclusive to any one particular thing. Hopefully when the microscope comes here I can then work on more mail order jobs. Like I said, and that's going to still be a couple of months away because I want to be able to, I'm going to try and get through this box of iPhone boards, fixing up as many as I can before I'm willing to touch a customer one. So let me just have a look for you, Chris. No, they're predominantly round, Chris. Yeah, they're all round ones. They're not square cut. Square punch and not as flimsy. Oh well. Well, Chris, do you want to send me a message and yeah, just send me a message through the usual chat line that we use, and give me a link to those. Because these didn't cost me much. They were like $9 or something for that collection. So I'm happy to spend more to get a better starting point again. Alright, next phone. This is an iPhone 5. Looks like the home button's already started to swivel. It's taken a bit of a nasty, and we've got a bend in this one, so I'm going to have to flatten that out. Oops. Come here. I just realised my second light's not on. There we go. That's a bit better. $20 a piece, as in you mean per phone, so like a single iPhone 4 one's going to cost me 20. Oh, that's fair enough. I suspect they will be probably more useful for the finer pitch parts, whereas things like the iPhone 4, 4S, maybe the 5, I can get away with these ones. Okay, we'll put that torture instrument away to the side for the moment, and we'll get this thing open. Okay, I can probably put gloves back on now. I've had phones from this particular person a few other times in the past. In fact, I'm fairly sure I've worked on this one as well. So I'm not too worried about the biological aspect, but I don't want to leave my fingerprints all over it. So as much as the gloves are there to protect me, it's also there to stop soiling their phones. Hey Bruce, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm really very happy with them. I paid $150 for these two benches to be delivered, made and delivered. and then the wood stock that they're sitting on. I think I paid about $60 for that. So yeah, all up, let's say $250 for two 2400 by 600 benches. Very happy with that. Alright, I have not worked on this one before. The battery looks fairly beat up. There's no water damage visible anyway, but I'm going to have to get that bend out. Okay, I don't have to get the bend out, but I would rather get it out. It's just severe enough that it will cause issues with the screen. I'm a little worried about this battery. It's starting to thicken up a bit. Oh, come on, hand. You can do it. Yeah. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing or what, but it seems like a lot of us doing this work have difficulty with our... Oh, for God's sake, where did that go? There it is. I have a lot of difficulty keeping our hands steady. Or maybe it's just a human thing. Okay, you're out of there. Put you off to the side. Do you work on many 4Ss? Yes, I actually get a lot of 4Ss out here. Yeah. And they're a bit of a pain, obviously, because of the amount of work you got to do to undo them. You know, wow, that battery... That one still hasn't charged up. What do we got? The rate's good, it's 230 milliamp hour put into it. It's got to pop up soon. If it doesn't pop up soon, then I'm going to assume that the battery's in trouble and I'll have to replace that. That was the clone damage one. Anything bigger than the Mason IC, you'll find it extremely difficult to use them. When you say, oh right, okay, yep, I get you soon. Alright, so we've got a low point here, and what we're going to do is we'll put this face down like that, put a couple of aluminium strips there, and then I'll do my trick. This is where years of doing metalwork at school, because I didn't want to do other subjects, finally came in handy. Where's that high point? And if you do this sort of thing, make sure you brace the plastic join of that top there, otherwise you will snap the top off nice and clean. Okay. I do want to buy one of those G-tool chassis benders, because it's just faster to set them up. This is a bit cumbersome, but in fairness it was free because I made it. Okay, Vincent, I'll see you next time. Why must you... Yeah, Hey, Ricktech. Yes, moderator status. Okay. Alright, we're tensioned up. Now, we don't need my hair shown there, but you can see it's in there, so now I'm going to clamp down on this side and squash that bend out. Now, you do have to slightly overbend in order to get the metal to retain. Okay, one more, just a little twist, and a little more. Yep, okay. It's very much a feel thing, because there's a fine line between getting it right and ruining it. And I probably ruined it. Nah, there we go, dead straight. So, yeah, all fixed up. Like I said, it's a feel thing. Knowing how far to push it beyond the original flat point to get it to come back. Alright. Yes, Lynn, there is another Paul here. He is from Tasmania, which is a lovely state of Australia, and I'm not being sarcastic at all. It's very beautiful down there. It's nice and cool. It's a lot calmer than it is on the mainland. People are somewhat more relaxed. The food is fantastic. The quality of the air is fantastic, except if you're in Launceston, the air is not so good. But everywhere else, it's beautiful, Antarctic, sorry, freshness. I would dearly love to be there. Let's see. Oh wow, we actually do have the little plastic spacer. Hallelujah. Come on, where'd you come? Come on, there you go. Imposter Paul has his surname. I should just go by my nickname. When I lived over in South Africa, when I was working over there, no one knew me as Paul. Everyone just knew me as Jack. Even my bank accounts are in the name of Jack. Okay, go to the next start. We're at 300 milliamps on that 5S, 300 milliamp hour put into it. It's still not coming up, so that's definitely a bad battery. That's going to have to be replaced. Spacer is the first thing gone on screen replacements. Then you have to, semi-tighten the screw and use a bit of Loctite or something to hold it. I know. It'd be nice if we could just find a little washer or something that could take its place. Alright, Chris, I'll do that. I am not on this machine has not been set up for Facebook here. So, whoops, I just gave it all away. Oh well. But I will check that when I get back to the other room. The reason why I don't have that on this machine is it would be too distracting when I'm trying to do other work. Because I have no self-control. Speaking of self-control, did anyone watch Jess's stream last night? Oh my goodness, when they were getting into all the different terms for things, I was like, what the hell? Crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat them because I just can't. Oh, crud. Broken home button. So this... Yeah, no, you're not going to go see that. But anyway, it's broken, so I better go see if I got another one. Oh, go man, go. Yeah. Strangle that V8. Alright, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Couldn't seem to find my... Oh, we just booted now. And holding 7% after 7% on 350 milliamp hour. That's really not good. That's really not good. So I'm going to have to open that bloody thing up again. God damn it. So much work. I don't know where my fresh new buttons have gone because they weren't where they should have been. So I'm just going to use a refurbished one. And by refurbished I mean taken from someone else's phone and given a quick wash. Okay. And make sure I throw this one in the bin. There we go, in the bin. Means I'll have to make sure I order another 5 or 6 replacements. That's one of those things that you never seem to remember to reorder. Helicopter. That's not good. Around here there's only one reason for that helicopter, and that is a medical emergency. It's either coming in or going out. Usually it's coming in from one of the properties, so someone's had an accident or a medical emergency out at a property. So it's not good. And there's fingerprints all over this damn thing. I hate that. Wrong one, wrong one, wrong one. Let go, let go. You're supposed to throw it over your shoulder. Ah, yeah. I should have done that, CryJ. So I take it you saw that the other night. I was quite shocked. Couldn't believe it happened. To be fair, I didn't even know the bin was there. So I guess it doesn't really count. When I was at school, I used to try to play basketball. I was hopeless. But the only thing I was really good at in basketball was double dribbling. I don't know how or why, but I just constantly double dribbled. So no one would end up throwing the ball to me. I just was not good at it. Of all the sports, the only thing I found myself to be suitably competent at was squash. And we had that in this town for quite a while, and then they took it away because someone complained about the noise. And it was a bit of an building a house near an airport type complaint situation, because the squash courts shared the main wall, the striking wall, shared well, it was the same wall that was on the back of some converted units. And now these people knew that the squash courts were there, and they moved in. And we had had people living in those units for, well, probably since the 1980s. And this new mob moved in, and they complained, and lo and behold, they got the squash courts shut down, and now 30 odd people in town don't get to play the sport they want, and that leads to medical issues, like in my case, because you're just not as active anymore, things like that. And those people have subsequently moved out, but the squash courts have not been reinstated. Instead, the landlord, the owner of the property or whatever, sold it off, and someone tried converting it into a pizza parlour, which was a bit of a disaster, because if you know what a squash court's like inside, it's a bit like racquetball court. There's no facilities in there, so to speak. It's just bare open. So these people invested a whole lot of money into turning it into a pizza place, and they ran out and they ran into some council regulations issues or something like that. I think it was ventilation, and so that's closed down. So after all this, we've got no squash courts, and no one's got $500,000 to build a new set, and we're all getting fat and lazy and getting no satisfaction now. Oh well. If I was rich enough, I'd build my own squash courts. Right. Let's see. V8s, helicopters, SCN2. Well, North Queensland, close enough. Yeah, we're above the tropical Capricorn latitude, so yeah, it's may as well be the NT for all we care. Hey, got an Apple logo. I'm happy. It's as good as a fan spin sometimes. The town is in the middle of almost nowhere, but this particular road that I'm on, they opened up, no, must have been about 50 or 60 land lots up the road, and so it went from being pretty much a dirt road 12 years ago to now a very busy road, which is why I also have extensive fencing around this place so that my kitty cats don't get out, because unfortunately I've lost one that way, and that's something that still burns me every day. Yeah. Things you learn too late. Okay. Oh, Amy. Screwing around flyback circuits, those things are nasty. I've been kicked enough times with them. Alright, this is... wow, plenty of scum in there. Might just try to clear that out. So much scum you can't tell that it's a switch. Okay, you're good. Alright, we have to change the battery on this one. Hey Miles, finished fixing your screens, have you? 15%. Yeah. 15. Chris, everyone else. 459 milliamp hour into that battery, and it's showing 15%. Now, by my calculations, that's wildly not good. I would have expected close to 25% by now. Oh, it's nice of you to say hi, Miles. So we've had Chris, we've had Lewis, Jessa hasn't streamed. I'm fairly sure STS Jason, he was going to do something, but I think he got busy. Cleaning the shop, blah. Yeah, it's all yours. Hey, Mark Wilson. In TCRS, I'm fairly sure that the other shop is closed up. So there hasn't been any real activity in there. The locals are restless about the fact that a lot of them have phones in the shop and they haven't been able to get them back, which is enough to upset a lot of people. Come on. Alright. Well, here we go. Third time lucky maybe with this phone. I do like how once you are confident with a job, how much easier it is. Like I remember when I was trying to get the screens off iPhone 6S's, those things were just pure torture for me. I was like, I don't want to break it, man, I don't want to break it. And I was using hot air and I was just taking it real slow and freaking out, sweating profusely, worrying about them. And then I see Chris Long just sort of go, hey, you just do this, and like, you know, with his spudger. And I was like, oh, I've been way too cautious. And then sure enough, I give it a shot on. Fortunately, I had a spare at that time, one that didn't matter because the screen was completely fecked up. So I tried it, and what do you know? It was all so easy. It worked wonderfully. So it's definitely can be advantageous if you can get your hands on a spare to play around with. Reduces a lot of the anxiety, that's for sure. Alright. Let's see if we can get the battery out of this without having to use isopropylene, because I'm never using acetone again. Hey Robert. Yes, early in the evening. Yeah, this is very unusual streaming time for me. Alright. Let's hope I don't break this off. Come on. Corner pull. Straw. You nearly went. You nearly went. Then you. Jeez, what is wrong with you? Ah, satisfaction. Beautiful. Oh no, it's stuck. Hopefully the hardware is still inside the shop. Well, I'm hoping so too, for the people's sake. Alright, this is a January 2014 battery. So 3.5 years old. It's probably due for replacement anyway. I'll go get another one. Miles, I have found if it's the original Apple ones and you do the whole pull through the corner and sort of slide up the side thing, it works pretty much every time. But definitely if it's got third-party pull strips in it, they'll bust 9 times out of 10 easy. I agree. Lynn, I have a feeling that other store is just simply going to close up, vanish, and that's it. Their main store is about 150 kilometers from here in another town. I have a feeling it's just going to be a case of they just disappear, the phones no longer get answered, things like that. Fixing things with, you mentioned heat with pulling these tabs out. I have tried that a few times but I haven't really noticed any difference, but I might try that again now that you've mentioned it. Hey Johnny Fix, yes, up in the daylight, I know, surprising. Yep, alright, I'm gonna go get another battery. Oh yeah, I'm back. Hey Loom. This one is according to the stamp, March 2017. So we're going to assume that's at least okay. I've given up putting those strips back in for the reasons that Miles mentioned, because I found no matter who I buy them from, I cannot get good quality pull strips. So instead I go with a nice long I go with a nice long length of 5mm wide, 3M double-sided. Okay. It's a little more tedious to apply. I've had some jobs come in from other people where they have used one or maybe two strips of this stuff for the whole battery, and I've seen that in an iPhone 6, and I was like, what? You're crazy. So that's not enough. The first knock and that battery is going to start flapping around, and when that battery starts flapping around, all sorts of strange things happen. So I haven't heard an answer from anyone yet, but I did put out the query as to why, when that battery starts flapping around, that it will occasionally go into the lockup mode whereby you have to do a hard reset to... Oh man, look at that, that's perfect. I judged that length and it filled it up perfect. Good omens. And there's a certain degree of satisfaction at pulling these strips off. But this is pretty much what most of my days are like, just picking up these odd little jobs. And when things are a little bit quieter, I go back to designing new circuits, or usually something to do with trying to make my job easier. Not that I've got a hard job anyway. But that's all going to change when that microscope and everything else turns up. Then I'm going to have to start trying to be a professional person. And a professional person who knows where the X-Acto knife is. This is not my normal workstation for iPhones. I usually use one on the other side of the room. Alright, got our X-Acto. I'm just trying to get the compression pad off this battery. Hopefully I don't tear it. Thankfully I didn't. Looks like it's already missing half of its foam. Oh well. I will say one thing, at least when you're using the 3M tape system like this, it gives you a chance to move it around after you put it down, just in case you didn't get the alignment right the first time. Been a couple of times I got those silicon strips wrong. Well, not the wrong, but I put the battery in the wrong place, and so too late, you're stuck. Thank you, thanks for playing. Alright, time to UV mark my battery. And UV mark the phone. Right. That stuff stinks. It's stinks in a not so much pleasant high, getting high way, just sort of like a, oh man, that's toxic smell. Hey Joshua. Plug the battery in first, then set it down. Yeah, I suppose that's one way. That would be the smart thing to do. I'll try that trick next time. Can you guys hear all the traffic going on outside? People in this town wonder why I rage about the hooning and whatnot. It's not even an arterial road or anything, it's just a normal two-way everyday road, bitumen. The speed limit changes from 60 kilometers an hour to 80 kilometers an hour, and it's a nice long stretch. And so what happens is people come flying around the corner and yeah, they think they're in the NASCAR race or something, and they just floor it. And they're well past 80 by the time they get to the 80 kilometer an hour sign. That's half the fun for them. Yeah, I suspect I'm just getting a little bit old. I mean, when I was in my 20s, or my late teens and my 20s, I was riding motorbikes all over the place. Alright, let's hope this screen works again. Thankfully, my little midget pinky finger is just thin enough that I can reconnect that flex. Oh, for flip's sake, except that one didn't work. Come on. Non-magnetic tweezers my butt. Come on. Right. You don't hear any traffic, Ben? Yeah, well, not right now, but... Chopper. Paul's wife just took off in his V8 Tirana. Oh, man, that's... we don't do Holdens in this family. Actually, I'm just kidding. I'm not a brand-specific person. That said, I would... my preference is BMW. I know. It's like... I mean, at least the upside of being a BMW driver is you don't have to use the indicator stick. Yeah, that's an optional extra. Come on. Let's see. Well, the screen's booting. No SIM card installed. Oh, shock horror. Alright, and I didn't like the look of that. It started out when it first booted at 58%, and then it immediately dropped down to 57%. No, I don't like it when they do that. See, and I can see a hotspot up there. That's annoying me. 840, 875, so the charge rate's okay. Actually, I don't know if it's a hotspot or if it's just a bit of stage lighting. I don't know what you guys call it, but I just call it stage lighting, where sometimes the LED, it comes out too strong, it isn't being properly diffused. Soon you'll be shouting, "Get off my lawn." I already do that, Robert. There's a community group here, and sometimes they just really just take it too far. too much noise, all the rest. I mean, I've put up for a lot. And so I show them that I've got security cameras and I show the footage of them up to their trash. And I tell you what, the crap you get from these people, like, oh, you bloody whinger, like, they're just having fun. We pay taxes, we own the road, we're allowed to do whatever we like on the road. And you're like, oh, sweet Bridget, someone get me out of this town. Anyway, the police do like that footage, though. They go, oh, thank you for that. And then you don't really see that car or that bike again for a while. And if you're really lucky, it's their third offence and it gets crushed, which is always good. I think they should sell tickets to the car crushing. They'd make a lot of money. Okay, I better mark that this battery is dead. Water damaged. (2017) 07 07. Great. Just so I don't accidentally pick it up later and go, why is this here? Okay, Dr. Teddy. Throw some nails out on the road. Yeah, Amy, look, it gets tempting, believe me. My favourite little idea is a high tensile line about neck height for the motorcyclists out there. Because, yeah, like I said, that's very, it's not something you actually act on. You think it, but you do not act on it. If any of you have seen the movie Funny Farm, oh, look at that. We've got ourselves a Dr. Pimple Popper. Whoop, there it goes. Yep. Satisfaction. Yeah, if any of you have seen the movie Funny Farm, Chevy Chase in it, when he's going mad over the postal delivery guy, you get the idea. Okay, that's now actually sitting in properly. Good. Okay. I think I'm done. I think I am done. For those of you who didn't catch it the other day, I found one of the cheapest Apple products I can get is this MagSafe 1 to 2 converter. Genuine Apple from their store, cost me like $12, delivered in 3 days, and it actually worked. Of course, I probably should upgrade this because this is a clone. At least I'm pretty sure it's a clone. It looks awfully nice. Didn't cost me enough. I'm going to assume it's a clone. Anyway, I use it for testing. I checked the output on it. It isn't noisy or anything like that. Backlight bleed. Okay, Strace, that's what you call it. BMW 135. I haven't tried any of the 1 Series, so I'll be interested to see what you think of the 135. Paul has a ute in Australia. Oh man, utes. Utes are funny things, or utilities, whatever you want to call them. You get these guys and they do them up with impressively powerful engines. You know, all sorts of hot ups, but then they leave the back tray empty. So as soon as they try to put the power down to the road, they go nowhere. They just skip and spin. So we had a couple of utes, and in the end we had to get a railway sleeper, like a big solid hardwood sleeper, and bolt it into the back tray, just so there would be enough downforce, just gravity downforce, to stop the thing skipping every time we went round any corner. Yeah, I don't know how half these people have licenses. It's like they get them out of their cornflakes packet. Yeah, the Funny Farm was a really good movie. I've seen it probably a few too many times, but the whole, when he's rolling that rock up the hill and he's in his camouflage outfit and everything like that. It's what I feel like doing, because this road that is beside me, where all this traffic's going, it goes up to a hill. It's not a extreme elevation, but it's enough. You could put a boulder up there and it will roll back down. But I can guarantee that things would go wrong. The universe would not approve of me doing such things, and that boulder would roll through the house. Big engine, large asshole, or big engine, small penis, take your pick, yeah. On the Apple charger, does it have Delta Electronics near the C-Tick? Fixing things, I will check for you. First I gotta find the C-Tick. No, I haven't got my glasses on. No, I've just got, I suppose it depends what you call the C-Tick, but I've just got Cosmos, Apple Japan, Dongwon, Samsung Electromechanics, LR56612 level 3 LPS. What have we got on the other side here? Yeah. Well, these are, they're not stickers, it's screen printed on. But like I said, I'm assuming it's a fake. Can't possibly imagine it being legit for the price I paid. Someone got caught doing 220 over here in the Lions Gate Bridge in Vancouver. Well, looks genuine. Oh. See, Cosmos engineered, yeah. I'd be very surprised if it was genuine, because like I said, I didn't pay a huge amount for it. It feels quite good quality. I mean, I've seen some of the fake ones that try to be like this, and particularly around this area here, they feel a lot flimsier. The cable, the cable's starting to muck up a bit here, so maybe it is genuine, given that that seems to be a very Apple trait. A lot of third-party ones get hot and melt. Yeah, I've had that driving the new MacBook Pro Retina, the one that I fixed up the other day. That's the late 2013 with the Iris chipset. It's got 256GB PCIe mSATA drive in it. That screen is just beautiful. Yeah, the 13-inch, 2,500 by 1,600. I mean, it's beautiful. So, like I said, my wife's playing with that, and if she wants it, like she's happy with it and wants to keep it, then that's fine, that's hers. I want to get one just simply to make sure I skill up some more on macOS, because I do get a few Mac machines coming through here that people want things fixed on, so it'd be nice to have a little more skill behind that. But I can use any cheap MacBook for that. This one in particular was rather high end, so it'd be nice for her to have that. Many of the fakes don't have the Apple molded on the side. Oh, okay, well, yeah, there's Apple molded on the side here. So, well, maybe I got lucky. Like I said, the temperature is good when I'm running it at full capacity, that I can tell. It doesn't get excessively hot. It's just like your normal sort of warm that you expect. Let's see. This is a 3.65 amp hour one. No, why do I say amp hour? I mean amps. Yeah. So 16.5 volt, 365. So what is that? That's 65 watt, is it? Anyway, it does the job. It hasn't given me any grief. When I checked the voltage lines, it wasn't spiking or anything. It was staying fairly tight. You're gonna fix the Wi-Fi, Lynn. The Wi-Fi, I never fixed up the J3 connector. I just Captain taped it, put it back in there. It's working fine. Maybe that's for the 5.1 gigahertz band, or maybe it's for Bluetooth. I'm not sure, but all I know is it works fine. I upgraded from Maverick to Sierra last night, and it didn't skip a beat. So no point me messing with that anymore. Book faced you. There's not much to OS X. Did the same to learn it. Was bored pretty quick. Oh well, that's good news at least. I did notice they seem to have changed the appearance quite significantly between Maverick and Sierra. I sort of prefer the look of Maverick, because it's the classic sort of Mac, nice little mirrored surfaces. That's just bling bling. Right, there we go with this. This is getting slightly warm, but it has 126 milliamp hour in, and it's up to 62%. 4%. Yeah, so that's behaving much better now. What about you? You're good. So those two phones are good to go. Customers will pick them up, and that's it. I'm done. Okay. All right then. I'm closing up. I'll probably go do some programming. There's some open board view stuff I need to tweak. Eventually I need to upload the latest revisions. Don't forget Paul changed the settings so you can find him outside. Oh yes, that's right. Thank you, Amy. I will be modifying the way I do the description of all the things I use in YouTube soon. I'm just working on the new sort of text block and everything like that. It hopefully should make things clear for everybody. And as always, I mean, I do get, as you probably all know, I do get a commission from Amazon sales, things like that. So if you don't want me getting commissions, don't use them. It's that simple. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you all for participating in a rare daylight stream, and I will see you guys next time. It could be later tonight. I don't know. Who knows when it comes to this job? Just do whatever I can when I can. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.